Hi everyone, this is the movie for Mac users for Excel, Chapter 1, Pause and Practice number 3. And we left off and we had formatted this Paradise Lakes. Well, first of all, in the one, we put in the data, put the formulas. In the second Pause and Practice, we formatted it a little bit. We can still see that there's some issues like Wednesday's not showing, and this probably should be centered. And then, of course, we have to fix our spelling. So there's still a few things to do. And in this Pause and Practice, it's really about making our columns the right size, merging and centering cells, putting borders, those type of things. So first of all, we're going to change the width of columns B through I. So for some reason, this always seems to give students difficulty. When it just says the letter or it just says the number, that does not mean the cell. That means you have to go outside of the cell area and up into where the number, where the number is or the letter is. So this says select B through I. So that's the entire column. So you go up to B and watch my mouse. See how it changes to the black down arrow? At that point, I click, I hold, and I drag across to I. Now all of those columns are selected, and whatever I do will apply to all of those columns. So what it says to do is format column width to 14. So it's saying home cell group. So let's see if that matches in the Mac. So we're going to go home, format. Okay, do I see that? Here's format. It does work. So, and that's part of the transition is, and always remember, if you can't find it here, go up here to the menu. All right, so format, column width, and I think it was 14, I hope. Let's say 14 and I'll double check. So I'm going to go back here. 14, yes. Okay, so if you notice, what it did was it made all my columns the correct width. So I can now see everything. All right, so now it wants me to change rows 4 and 10, not between them, right? So this was B through, this is 4 and 10. So this is a little different technique. I'm going to go to the right of the row to where the number is. Get my black arrow pointing to the right. I click. That selects that row. Now, on the Mac, I'm going to press and hold my command key and come down to 10 and click that. So on a PC, it's your control. On the Mac, it's the command. So I've selected non-adjacent rows. We're going to, row height is 24. So I have a feeling I'm going to go back to the same place, cells, format, row height this time, and we're going to type 24. Okay, so now those two rows are a little bit deeper than the rest of them. All right, right click, row heading 9, okay, because I forgot food and beverage. So we're going to insert, and one of the things about Excel is it'll insert above or to the left of where you are. So if you're on a column and you're inserting a new column, it's to the left of it. If you're on a row and inserting, it'll insert above. So now I have this new row that I can type food and beverage, right? But I don't really have, I don't really have the numbers yet. So I'm going to just hide it. So I'm going to select that row, right click, hide. They're doing it a different way. I find that, well, you can do it this way, but I just right-clicked and did a hide. Okay, so now we want to center titles across the selection. So let's read this, A1 through I2. So that colon is like saying the word through. So A1 through I2. Click Alignment Launcher in the Home tab Alignment Group. So Home tab, here's my alignment group. Click down. Find the horizontal drop down arrow. Okay, shoot, I don't see that, right? So I'm going to go back up here to format. I am going to format, let's see if it's under cells, alignment. So I got to it that way, right? Because it didn't show here. There's no dialog box launcher. I went up to format, cells, alignment. Here's horizontal alignment, center across selection. Okay. So now that heading is across the width of the sheet. Alrighty, I'm going to do a save just because. All right, so now down here we're on, this is, the file is considered a workbook, and just like a book there are pages, and the pages are called sheets in Excel. And so they're given this generic name, sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3, etc. But that's not very meaningful. So this Paradise Lakes, you're going to get to know, there's like 4 different like areas. Cass Lake, Breezy Point, and there's 2 other ones, right? So we're going to end up with sheets for all of them. So it would make sense if we would name these for the location that we're at. So to change the sheet name, you double click on it and then you just start typing. So we're going to call this Cass Lake, and you must hit enter. All right, so now we're going to change the tab color. Right click, tab color. So I right clicked right on the name. Tab color green. Oops, tab color green accent 1. 5th column. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Darker 50. Okay, so and when we make the new one, you're going to see, do you see how there's just a line here? That means that's the one that I'm on. Okay, so when you're off of one, it's going to be a solid color, and you're going to see that here in a minute, and I'll come back to it. So I want to duplicate this for the Breezy Point. So instead of redoing everything, I'm just going to copy this sheet. So down here at Cass Lake, I'm going to right click on it, move or copy, move to end, and then here's the big thing. I want to make a duplicate, so I'm going to do create copy. Okay, so now I have, do you see how it's at the top and at the bottom? So the active one in a Mac is the bottom one. The ones you're not on, the color's at the top. So now I'm going to double click on Cass Lake 2 and make it Breezy Point. Enter. And then the color is going to change for that one to orange accent 4 darker 50, right? So now it's very apparent. And then on the Breezy Point one, we're going to get rid of the numbers in the middle, but not the formulas. So just B5 through H10, hit your delete key. So now all the formulas are here. So when you get the Breezy Point numbers, you can just type them in and they would work. I want to fix that. I don't like that. Okay, so let me go back here. Oh, we're done with this one. I'm going to go ahead and save it. We have one more small pause and practice for these are really broken up into nice little chunks. So I think we are done with that. I will start the next movie on the pause and practice 4. Thank you.